Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and I'm talking about my favorite new line that still kind of feels retro. It's Final Faction. This is a line of exclusive action figures that have been developed for Dollar Tree. So you go into a Dollar Tree and everything's a buck, which means that all of these toys are a buck. You get a character, it's a buck. You get a weapons pack, it's a buck. You get an alien, it's a buck, which is awesome. And sure, it's like, well, Clay, why is that special? I mean, I've always been able to get cheap action figures at dollar stores, but not like this. These ones are really well developed and well marketed. They've put a lot of heart and a lot of story, a lot of thought into developing just who these characters are and what they represent. And they even have a cartoon that they've created, which has one episode where you get to see the characters eat cookies and fight aliens. What's better than that? So this time we are taking a look at the Kharn Synthoids. So the Kharn are the alien enemies in the Final Faction universe, and they are aliens that crashed on the moon, and or at least we thought they crashed. Maybe they came here on purpose, and they're now trying to rob the Earth of its resources. Oh, you know, it's just a tale as old as time. But nonetheless, these are the Synthoids, and so they are a techno-organic thing. And for those who have seen my video about the Final Faction ACRM, this is sort of the alien equivalent of the ACRM. It is a controlled, technological thing, and it's got this blade arm here that you can see right there, and you can see how things sort of look like a blend of technology and organic stuff. And it's got the deflector array from the Enterprise, which is really nice there, and you know, it's got claws and things here. So you know, this is what this is. This is probably the most dangerous figure in the Kharn army. Yeah, you have a bunch of these, and your Final Faction dudes are in trouble. Now, once again, these don't have a lot of points of articulation. You have a little bit of motion here, a little bit of motion there, and that's pretty much it. But they are robustly built, and in the case of the Synthoids, you also have removable arms because there are weapons packs which have different arms that you can stick in them. And so, you know, you can change things up. I guess if you wanted to, you could do that and do that, and you know, I mean, why not? See, that's what he's saying. He's saying, why not? And that's okay. That's not very cool, but you can do it. So you look on the back, and this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the way that these are being marketed very, very similarly to the way that G.I. Joe was marketed back in the 80s when the 3 3/4 inch figures were brand new. You've got your illustration of the character, which, you know, there's a better illustration here that you can't see because the guy is just too darn big. But it's actually a really, really nice illustration. Here's a smaller version of it on the back, and it even has tech specs, so you see how strong and how smart and how, well, okay, they don't have smarts, but they do have strength, speed, agility, stamina, durability. And then there's this little write-up that talks about what this guy is, and it talks about, in this case, the Kharn have very advanced technology that are autonomous, have synthetic biology, and are highly intelligent. Synthoids are used in all Kharn operations, similar to the Final Faction ACRM. See, they're plugging the ACRM right there. They are not to be underestimated. So, you know, these guys are the the badasses of the line. It's like, when you don't necessarily have to have a dozen of these, but if you have a few of them, then you can have like some pretty involved battles between your Final Faction dudes and your Kharn dudes, and it looks great. And I feel like, particularly with this guy, I mean, yeah, we got some silver highlights here in the paint detail that look really nice, and the red on the eyes really pops, but I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for detail painting if you're the kind of person that enjoys doing that kind of work. So you get several of these, and you can even start customizing and make different teams of things, and painting their armor and swapping out parts, and just having a lot of fun with them. So that is the Final Faction Kharn Synthoids, and they're cool. They're just cool, and the whole line is fun. And so you get some of the drones and some of the brutes, and then you have a few of these and in the background, and it's like, oh no, I wasn't worried when I saw just some drones and some brutes, but now, okay, they're backed up with Synthoids. Now we in trouble. And so that's what these guys represent. These guys represent the now we in trouble moment of the battle, when you have all of your figures out, which, by the way, since the figures are just $1 a piece, you can build up your armies very quickly, which is kind of cool. So yeah, if you're at all curious about Final Faction, go to a Dollar Tree, check it out. It'll cost you $1. It's just not that much. Or if you want to get the entire line of stuff, it'll cost less than $15. That's I've blown that much on a bad drive-through. So yeah, you know what? It's hard to regret that when you're trying this stuff out. So the Final Faction Kharn Synthoid, it's actually really cool, and I recommend it. So yeah, pretty straightforward. At this point, you know that I love Final Faction. You know that I love what they're doing, and it just feels like the beginning of something that hopefully will be meaningful to a new generation of kids. And I would love to see it continue. I want the second wave, the third wave, the fourth wave. They keep doing new series. I will keep buying because they're cool. So that's my review. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so that you know when we're doing more of these Short Circuits videos and our weekly live streams that we do pretty much every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern United States time. Join in the chat. We would love to see you there. It's a lot of fun. So, this is Clay telling you to keep it Retrobot! That's right, we're keeping it Retrobot with Final Faction stuff from Dollar Tree because, it feels retro. This is the same way that the toys that I fell in love with when I was a kid started 30 some odd years ago, and I love seeing it. I just love seeing it. Hope you do too. So keep it Retrobot.